thinking about applying for master's degree and you're not yet sure which country you want to go to, so this might be something hopefully that would help you decide. Hello, hi everyone, welcome again. Today I want to talk about master's degree and the master's program in the UK. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this is because I feel like some of you guys or some people are out there that are actually thinking or considering masters abroad, and they are thinking maybe UK, US, or Canada, or the other, or some of the other really popular countries for international students. So I thought to have a discussion about masters in the UK. Obviously, I'm in the UK and I did my masters and PhD in the UK as an international student. So this is what I know. I'm not necessarily going to be talking about US or Canada. So I thought to talk about UK, which is what I know. Right, so let's delve into it. Now, first of all, people apply for masters for different reasons. One of the catchy thing about UK masters is that it's quite flexible to an extent. So you could leave your job or take a career break within a year and come to UK for your masters and you will be done. So it's quite flexible. When it comes to cost as well, to an extent, UK masters are affordable, especially compared to US and Canadian degrees. The reason being that because UK masters is a year, you don't have to pay 2 years like you would for other countries. And also UK masters easier to access UK degrees than some other countries. Now, talking about that, whatever the reason for why you have decided to apply for a for a master's in the UK or US or any other country, I just wanted to expand on some of the things that it entails to apply or to be a master's holder in the UK. Obviously, you can check this video out and some other videos to compare and see if it's really of value. Now, I have made a video about international students and the post-study visa route, which is another benefit of studying in the UK that's just been introduced. It's going to be starting on the 1st of July of this year. So that's also one thing that can persuade you, or that one of the benefits of studying in the UK. After completing the 1-year master's program, you do have the option of applying for a 2-year post-study visa route, or for 3 years if you're on a PhD program. Delving now into the master's program in UK. First of all, let's talk about the master's itself. The degree you will be taking out when you finish depend on the course that you have applied for or that you will be applying for. So you do have the MSc program. Some programs are on MSc, so when you graduate, you'll be having the MSc degree certification. There are some that are MBA, the MA, and also M Engineering and the rest of that. Now, the other thing to think about, I've mentioned briefly, is the cost. The cost of studying in the UK compared to other countries can be cheaper. The reason being that, like I've mentioned, most UK master's program are 1 year. So what is the cost? On an average, this is obviously depending on the school and the actual course that you're going to be studying in. On an average, UK masters are roughly £10,000 and above, all the way to 20 to 25 to 30,000 pounds, depending on the university and obviously the course that you're studying. So the next thing I want to talk about in more depth is the length of the master's degree. Now, the master's degree, if you're studying a full-time or part-time program, obviously you can't study part-time when you're international student, so I'm going to be focusing on the full-time program. So the full-time program, usually you would have 1 year of taught class. Now, the 1 year of taught class, this is the one that is quite common for most degrees. Now, you could also have a 1 year of placement. Now, this is something that is not applicable to all degrees, so it will depend on your area of interest that you could check, and the institution as well, to see if they do have placement option. Yeah, so if you're gonna go with the 1 year taught course, you would be obviously staying 1 year in the country studying in class or online, depending on the situation. While if you're gonna go with the placement option, you will be studying for 1 year in class and then 1 year as working experience within UK job industry. Now let's move on to what is the structure like. In terms of the structure, so that this is talking about the term and months, you have master's degree that start in September of each year, and you also have master's degree that starts in January of each year. Obviously, this depends on the course type and the university, so you would be valuable that you check the university and check out when they start their program. Now, most master's degree do start in September, so which means that, and there are some that also start in April or October depending on the university. For September start programs, you would have, usually for each master's program, you have 3 terms in the program. No, you have term 1, term 2, and term 3. The term 1 is where you have courses from September start to end of December, towards the end of December, where the school then closed for the year, and then you come back in January and have the January courses from January all the way to April or May, depending on the university as well. Now, after that, you would then have the dissertation term, which is the 3rd term. I could talk a bit more about dissertation in another video. So the dissertation program is actually for you to do a project based on your area of interest and meet that as a requirement for your master's degree. When you complete that dissertation, then you would have the master's degree awarded at the end of it if successful. Now, for January start, you will be starting in January and then all the way to April or May, depending on the university, and then you have a summer break. So you do have summer break in January start, and then you come back in September and you go on to December for the term 2, and then from January the next year you would have your dissertation if that's part of your program for term 3. This is just saying that the master's degree for September is short because it's exactly 1 year, compared to master's degree that starts in January, which goes for about 16 to 18 months depending on the program and the university. Like I said, if you now have a placement option attached to that program and you have applied for that, then you would then use the 2nd year to look out for a placement. Then you would have the time to go on and look for a placement with companies or industry depending on where you fit in, and do that placement for another 1 year. We've talked about the structure. Now let's talk about the course content or the course requirement for most masters. Obviously, like I said, this is quite generic, so it might be different for specific program. When we're looking at the course content, usually most masters have 4 courses, which are the mandatory courses you have to complete for each term, and then some of them are optional courses, which are those that if you want to develop your interest in that area, you can then take them up in addition to your core courses. For core courses in most universities, you would have at least mainly 3 courses for each term. So term 1 you would have 3 core courses, and then term 2 you would have 2 core courses, and term 3 you would then do your dissertation. So in addition to those core courses, if you are in a university that have optional courses, you can select other courses in addition to your core courses do for each term. So you most likely will do 6 courses for the 2 terms where you will be taught, and then for your dissertation that is not taught, so that is a project that you handle separately with support from a supervisor or supervisory team. Let's talk about the credit load for master's program in the UK. You have at least 180 credit load for your program. So the whole program is about 180 credit load for most universities, and that you would get at the end. Most of the courses are 20 credit or 30 credit load. Like I said, you will most likely be doing 3 core courses, but this is obviously not set in stone. Your dissertation, which is the key one, is usually 60 credit load, and your taught courses, depending on how we split within courses, would most likely make up 120 credit load, and that gives you 180 credit load at the end of your master's program. The next thing I want to talk about is the pass or fail classification in the UK. So for master's program, you are required to have at least a 50% score in courses, taught courses, for you to have a pass mark in most programs. Like I still said, these obviously depend on the university and different factors, but usually you would have a 50 and above for you to have a pass, and from 50 to 69 would be a merit, and a 70 and above would be a distinction. Then obviously from 49 below, it's a fail. So the next thing I want to talk about is the assessment for master's program. Obviously, this is like I keep mentioning, this is quite generic. But one thing you should keep in mind is that there are different ways that UK universities assess students. First one is that you have, which is one of the most popular ones for most courses, is that you have written essay or assignment that is given. Then the other one is written exam, obviously is conducted within campus or now online as an option. The other one is presentation and group work, so where you have group activities or individual activity depending, and then presentation to the class or to and your colleagues and your assessor as well. So those are the three key assessment types that are quite common in UK master's program. Like I said, depending if you have a lab program or work program that involves lab, obviously you'll be doing some analysis in the lab, and that might translate into how you will be assessed as well. So that's something to keep in mind. I think I would be talking a bit more in depth about the written assessment, especially because this is quite common for almost all courses, and I noticed that some international students do struggle with this part. So I think we'll be having that in another video. So this is the end of this video. I have talked about the master's program, the structure, marking, and some details that I feel like might be useful for someone, especially if you're thinking about applying for master's degree and you're not yet sure which country you want to go to. So this might be something hopefully that would help you decide if you want to take up UK or look out somewhere else. All right, so thank you guys for listening, and I will see you again on the next one. Bye bye.